What is going on, Jet fans? Matt O'Leary back with another video on this Tuesday afternoon. And unfortunately, it brings me no joy to report that we, as New York Jets fans, have to root against the best storyline going in the NFL by far this year, and honestly, in years. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, Philip Rivers, who retired after the 2020 season, is coming out of retirement after 5 years at the age of 44 to try to save the Indianapolis Colts season. I mean, just phenomenal drama, and what a story. I had to read the Ian Rappaport notification twice last night when I found out that they were bringing him in for a workout. But they officially signed him to the practice squad, and there were tweets circulating that he could play as early as this week, from off the couch to into the starting lineup for an NFL team is so insane that I love it. It's, let's be honest, folks, most likely going to end in catastrophic fashion. But if it works, what an unreal pull that would be for the Indianapolis Colts. And just as a football fan in general and a fan for the dramatics, I will be seated no matter what with my popcorn ready to watch, whether it's a horror show or just something out of a Disney movie where the old guy comes in. He's literally a grandfather at this point, which is just, he's got 66 kids. One of them's bound to pop one out eventually. His oldest is older than Tyler Warren. I saw a tweet saying that. And unfortunately, we as Jet fans can't even root for this fun story to work out for Indianapolis. I wish it was just about any other team in the NFL. And the reason is why we discussed yesterday, or what we discussed yesterday. The Jets hold the Colts' first round picks, not only this year, but in 2027. As it pertains to the 2026 draft, that pick, when originally was acquired, the Colts had the best record in the AFC. It was the projected 32 pick in the draft. Now, did I think they were winning the Super Bowl? No, but I think between picks like 23 to 28 was roughly the expectation. That's not where it's at right now. They are on the outside looking in as the 8 seed. And that pick is looking at 18. And I believe it can get up to as high as pick number 13 if things go off the rails. And the Colts, they don't have this cupcake close to the season. They have 4 really grueling games. They got Seattle this week and their killer defense. Then they go up against San Francisco, Jacksonville again, who they just got creamed by, and then Houston. If Philip Rivers makes it to the Houston game, I am fearful what will happen to that man behind that offensive line. Not that it's horrible, but going up against what, in my opinion, is the best defense in the NFL, and a defense that is absolutely relentless at getting after the quarterback. Philip Rivers was never someone who was crazy mobile to begin with, but what does it look like 5 years after being out of the league? And towards the end for Philip, and this is, again, as crazy as this is 5 years ago we were talking about, the arm strength was starting to go. The last year with the Chargers, and then that final year with Indianapolis. Oddly enough, the last time the Colts made the playoffs was that season where they did have Philip Rivers. And I don't want to be the guy who has to root against this story and have to root against Philip Rivers. Fun fact about me, I would go to bat for Philip Rivers for years. I think he is the best quarterback in the 2004 draft class that had Eli Manning and also Ben Roethlisberger. I know both of those guys have won multiple championships. I'm not a championship guy when looking at individual players, but looking at Philip Rivers' career, there's 2 players from that era that I thought were overhated by the mass majority of football fans, and that was Philip Rivers and Tony Romo. I think those were 2 very good quarterbacks on 2 really crappy situations in both Dallas and the Chargers for most of their tenure. And I don't want the lasting memory of me having Philip Rivers makes this unprecedented return, all the fanfare, and I'm rooting for him to throw 5 picks, throwing lame ducks out there, ruining his reputation, and having to wait another 5 years. Because also, he was eligible for the Hall of Fame coming up. But if he plays in a regular season game, he's got to wait an additional 5 years for him to be eligible for the Hall of Fame again. So the clock resets there. This is just truly an insane story. It's honestly like feels like something out of the WWE, or it's like, well, let's bring this guy back. And like you hear the music happen. And it's like, is that really The Rock's music? I haven't heard that in 20 years. I don't know. I'm not a big wrestling guy. But point being, Phillip Rivers having to be the savior for the Indianapolis Colts, one, just shows how desperate Indianapolis is. The quarterbacks around the league right now are in an absolutely horrific situation, clearly, as you know, guys that they could sign right now, like CJ Beathard was at the top of the list, and they said, you know what, we'll take our chances with Phillip Rivers. When was the last time he played? 2020. How old is he? 44. What was he doing this year? Was he playing in the CFL or something like that? No, he's coaching high school football. What an insane story. Again, as Jet fans, I absolutely hate that. I have to be rooting against this, but in all honesty and in all likelihood, I don't think this ends well for Indianapolis. And for what matters most, which we are a Jets channel and I am a Jets fan, I care most about the Jets getting the benefit from something, is Indianapolis losing. And if they lose out and finish the season 8-9, the Jets may be looking at having 2 top 15 draft picks. And that's the best case scenario for them. So I just wanted to talk about this crazy NFL story, and let me know what you guys think in the comments. Like, do you think this actually has a chance of working out? Where do you land on the Phillip Rivers thing? Sound off in the comments. I'm Matt O'Leary. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll catch you next time.